Saw the cartoon light bulb in his head on the video.
Where it's just like bing.
Yes, because he kind of like looked up at it and
Yeah,
you are lying and you are
Uh,
fired. Is CEO by day and panic attacks by night. I'm mad like you're mad.
Yes.
This noob guy over here charging, doesn't know anything.
That's a new Tesla owner right there. So I'm going 100% now.
Yeah. Welcome to Fuelish Behaviors. I'm Adam Thompson, and this is our guest today, Alex.
How's it going?
He is an entrepreneur as well, and he has a tile and granite business.
Yes, sir.
It's a very cool story, family business, started from nothing and has just grown into something crazy.
Yeah.
And they've been very successful.
Especially right now. It's just been insane.
All the new construction, remodels. I know during COVID and stuff, the remodels were out the wazoo. Everybody was trying to do it yourself, because nobody was out really working. And so I'm sure that really kicked off a lot of business for y'all around that time.
Oh, yeah. Around that time, they were actually building a lot of houses.
Yeah.
So we had a builder that had 200 houses going up, and then we had a bunch of residential as well. So there's a bunch of couples that were staying home together, and they were doing a bunch of house projects because during COVID, there's nothing else that you could do except stay inside, drink, and go crazy, which happened to a lot of those couples as well. But yeah, we were really blessed around that time whenever everybody else was going through a bunch of hardship.
Yeah. And when you hit growth spurts like that, us to kind of go around this of where we came from, where we're going, things that happened to us, and just the ride of entrepreneurship.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So the title of this episode is called Staying Energized. I thought that was a very good topic for this whole segment. We're going to go over entrepreneurship. We're going to go over EV cars. And then we're going to just talk about our employees and their driving habits.
Yeah. Some of them are hard to trust whenever it comes to driving like that.
Oh, and your insurance loves them.
I know.
So cool. The first segment is called Entrepreneur Exhaust System. The topics, the three topics on this is going to be all around that. The exhaust system was a smart way of talking about this one because you're exhausted and then
all the time.
Of course, just things that we leave behind. There's all kinds of metaphorically.
Exactly. I mean, the exhaust system, whenever you're running your own business, is just crazy because you have just so many things going on at once. And you have to be in so many places and you have to give so many different orders, especially in my type of work, because I have a fabrication crew, an install crew, and I have to deal with customers, do the bids, just the whole nine. Yeah. Just by the end of the day, you're just spent.
And you put the miles in. I'm fortunate to be able to work in an office now. So you're out in the field. Your office is your car.
Yeah, like 100%. I finally got a EV, and while I'm charging it, sometimes I'm sitting there doing just bids and sending invoices, just trying to do whatever I can to get ahead.
Yep. Utilizing your time. That's number one is in order to be successful is utilize that time.
Yeah.
So the first topic of this segment is CEO by day and panic attacks by night. Just the thought of that, of how you operate your business. And then of course you go home to lay your head down and you're still running.
Yep. You're still thinking about it and it's just going through your head, and you try to be there for your spouse and your kids and everything. But like whenever it comes to like your spouse, I mean, you spend so much time talking throughout the day, especially with me, to all the customers. It's hard to want to break down that barrier to be able to talk that much at home. And I just want to be quiet and try to do me. But then I'm also thinking about the next day and try to get things in order for that.
Yep. That's what I always say. There's three jobs. There's your job you do during the day. Then there's a job when you get home for your kids and your wife.
Yep.
And then the third job is what you're anticipating for tomorrow.
Exactly.
And so when you're working three jobs in a 24-hour period, it feels like, and it seems like sometimes entrepreneurs, they don't know how to delegate that in terms of, well, how do I do this? And how do I do that? And so it just comes off really hard to either your business or your family or even preparing for the next day.
Exactly. And honestly, a lot of that is what leads to people burning out. Because that's the hardest part, is trying to get in the right mental space in order to be able to handle all that.
Yep.
And there's some people who can't do it, but I mean, you just got to try to prioritize your time as best as you can.
Yeah. It ain't for the weak.
No, it's really not.
It ain't for the weak, but I also say anybody can do it.
Anybody can do it. You just have to put your mind into it and want to do it.
Yep. Understand the sacrifices.
Have a vision too.
Yes. And if you can, and I say this with everything, but if you can foresee problems and talk about them now, when they come up, you already know how to handle them. And therefore your family can kind of see what's going on. Your work can kind of see what's going on. And then tomorrow can kind of see what's going on.
Exactly. And you have to know how to deal with problems in the right way too.
Yeah.
And learning from the mistakes that happen, because I mean, mistakes are going to happen,
Yep.
But you have to learn from them, because if you don't learn from them, then you're just headed for disaster.
We had a segment on the last episode. It was a carousel, right? And you're doing the same thing over and over again, which is the definition of insanity. You have to be able to problem solve and recognize. It's kind of like a video game or something. When you're playing the same level, you recognize it and you know how to bypass that. And owning a business, though they're new problems, it's still the same road.
Yeah,
and so you can see it and you can anticipate it and know how you're going to solve that problem.
And like with us, I would say like nothing's ever the exact same, but I would say 70 to 80% of the time we're doing a lot of the same stuff, typical kitchen, bath, things like that. And then there's other times where you get into like the big, fancy, nice showers with the intricate edges that you need to do.
Yep.
And you just have to be ready for that and believe that you can do it and take that challenge.
Yep. You look back, and I always use this metaphor, but it's eating an elephant, right? You see it and it's just this massive job. And it's overwhelming. You just don't even know where to start. And that's, I've been told, it's one bite at a time.
Yep.
If anybody could do it all at once, they would be the ones doing it. Nobody's going to do that.
Exactly.
And so you just want to be the one that attacks all three: the quality, the price, and then of course the time.
Yep. And I mean, there's still some things that we haven't fully gotten into yet, but whenever somebody asks me for it, I'm always up for the challenge, and I always try to do it. And for the most part, we've always gotten it done.
Absolutely. And everybody at my job, now that I'm more in the office, they hate it. They hate it because we get a phone call and I don't say no. And anybody that knows me, it's, yeah, we can do that. And they're like, what is that? And I'm like, I don't know. Start reading on it now.
Hey, that's the same thing with me. I work with a lot of my brothers. So whenever I'm taking a job that they know is going to be hard, they're like, why are you taking that? Just say no. And I'm like, no, I want to take that challenge. Because I want to get to that next step.
Right.
And I want to know that we can do it and be able to charge more for those type of jobs, be able to get them whenever they come.
Exactly. And you might lose money on a job or not make as much as you want to on these particular jobs we're talking about, but you could also pay to go learn how to do it. You could pay to market to get those jobs. You're spending that money one way or another.
Exactly.
So why not spend the money on yourself? That's an investment, and you go out and you learn how to do it. You learn the ins and outs, the mistakes that you need to overcome, and then you can start doing that particular job.
Exactly. For the most part, that's what I usually do. If we're doing something that we really haven't done before, I'll go research it, look it up for a few weeks, and try to get advice from some of the other people I know in the industry, and then go from there.
And when everybody's telling you why, don't do that and all that, they don't realize it's still pounding at you. Like you're thinking the same way they're thinking. So you go home and it's weighing on you, and they're going home and doing their day-to-day life.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Is it's easy for them to be like, no, just say no, don't do it. But if I say no, I'm going to be thinking about that for weeks and months, or we just waiting for the next chance for another job like that to come.
It's you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Exactly.
If you don't take it, you have these regrets. And if you do take it, you're feeling the way they're feeling, but you're taking the burden on how do we do this financially? How do we do this in a timely manner? Is this going to take away from other customers and so you end up getting in this cycle that interrupts every part, not just your night now it interrupts your day, that you're juggling two things. I'm learning this, but I'm still trying to keep up with my normal job.
Exactly.
It's hard.
and that's the thing, is we have things every day of the week. And like, even like right now, we've been still going 6-7 days a week.
Yeah. But go back to day one, when you first got into it, or when it first started, you went through hard times. It was a new adventure for you. And so you had to learn first day, rule number one, the things that we're doing today and how it's going to work. And so what's normal to you was something out of your realm before.
Exactly.
And you overcame that. And I guess that's what the employee doesn't understand is you've overcame so many things to get to where you're at, that what's a new thing to learn and overcome and get that and add that to your arsenal.
Exactly. And honestly, in order to get comfortable with anything, you have to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. So
what do they say? Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Exactly.
I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're stuck, and you might as well go work a 40-hour-week job.
Exactly, because you're you're just gonna stay in the same spot. You're never gonna progress.
Yep. You'll get that raise and that evaluation and that promotion, but it's very small compared to what you could do when you work for yourself.
And right now, especially with how expensive everything is, I mean, you need to take the money whenever you can get it.
Oh yeah. Yep. You have the availability to take on something and do it either for yourself or do it for the business and grow and allow yourself to make more money.
Exactly.
That's a good segment. You're gonna be tired. You're gonna be stressed. So if you maintain and you observe what it is that's stressing you out, that's seeing the problem.
Exactly.
And you can figure out how to overcome that problem alone. So it's not just the problems at these new jobs, but it's the fire in yourself that you have to figure out how to make sure you keep moving forward and you don't let that just eat at you.
Yeah.
And give you health issues.
You have to be able to maintain that fire.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a hard thing, but I believe anybody can do it. They just have to understand that there is that. Everybody's going to have the challenge, but don't let it kill you.
Honestly, starting a business, it's not all going to be sunshine and rainbows at all. There's going to be a bunch of dark times.
Even running it.
Yeah.
There's no
exactly.
sunshine. And
I mean, there's going to be a lot of dark times, but you just got to keep pushing and you need to get through it.
Yep. You talk about millionaires and billionaires and stuff, and it's nice to have all that money and it's nice to be that wealthy and have that status, but to get there, just dealing with what I'm dealing with in my petty cash, I couldn't imagine having to deal with what they do. And they have people around them that do all the stuff for them, but even then they're thinking of the next thing, and that alone is enough to keep you at night.
Exactly.
Your brain don't stop.
I can't even, if you think about Mark Cuban, Mr. Wonderful, all of them, think of how many businesses that they're in, and where their brain's going, 24/7.
And I don't talk about this a lot, and I want to hit this before we jump into the next topic, but running your business, the financial part, making sure you have the money, to make payroll and then of course to keep the business and the doors open and paying the bills and stuff. And of course the higher up guys, they have all the people to do that for them. So they've overcome that, but where they got rid of one problem, they're into a new one. And we're starting to experience that in many different ways. But one of the big problems that we are going through right now is the lawsuits. People are coming after you. A lot of them, they don't go very far. They don't have a case. It doesn't happen very much. But when you're a billionaire and people know you and stuff, I mean, just the accusations that can come out, the things that people can say and do.
Exactly. If you look at someone wrong, they're going to try to sue you for something.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of someone trying to sue someone because I think they said a cuss word in a restaurant. Yeah. And their kid was there. Yeah. I think they were trying to get $1.3 million or something like that.
This time now, I call it the idea concept. It's you see somebody that does something and then you want to go replicate it.
Yep.
And that's a good thing. I mean, I think that's where we are. It used to be the first one to do something, and now it's the first one to do something better and cheaper. And that's why you have all the same stores and the same restaurants and the same, they're just trying to do it better and cheaper.
Exactly.
But it also goes to the negative side of our society, and that somebody sees that, oh, he bumped into me and that's harassment. But now they want to take it one step further with their idea that says, oh, it's mental anguish and it did this and it did that. And it's, we had a guy on video, a piece of the dispenser fell and landed in front of him, didn't touch him. And he went for it all against us. I mean, he was trying to get every dime he could possibly get.
He saw opportunity.
That's why I tell everybody, I saw the cartoon light bulb in his head on the video.
Where it's just like, bing.
Yes, because he kind of looked up at it. It was weird. And I was like, what is he? And then all of a sudden he goes in, gets the manager, comes out, and they're making it this big ordeal. And when I talked to their attorney, I was like, okay, let's see some evidence, which y'all have, because I've got this in my back pocket. I have all kind of cameras on our trucks, cameras at the gas stations where we're at, and I let him go for a little bit just to kind of see. I didn't want to jump the gun too quick, just in case they did have something that I didn't know about. And he sent me over all this stuff, and I'm like, here's my rebuttal here. And it was one email, and it shut it down. Then they came back with, well, we'll settle for this, that, and the other. And I'm like, yeah, I bet you will.
What did they show any type of evidence or anything like that? Or what were they saying?
Doctor bills and all, everything, his accusations. He couldn't, and this was a legitimate complaint of his, that he couldn't sleep with his wife. He couldn't go to his grandkids' like sporting events and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay. So I had to pull my PI actually got some video of all this, that you are doing it still and all that.
Yeah.
But of course, the video that really put it in the bag was, where did this hit you? Show where this hit you. And it was so clear as day that this thing fell far from them. But it's just that people they see our setups, they see it in the gas station. Sometimes we have 3 or 4 trucks out on site, so we look like this big business.
Yep.
And we're not. We're still a small business. We have enough trucks and we have enough footprint in the United States, but it's still not, these giant trucking companies or these people that and hear about. And so it's hard.
Because they're one of the easy way out.
Yep. Well, we talk about like logos on the truck, right? Your emblems and all the things. And I've heard somebody say that that's a target on your back. And
I've heard that too.
Yeah. And so it's kind of pick your poison, because what we do, being on gas stations, we have a lot of people approach us and say, oh, by the way, I own a gas station, or I'm a construction company for this. Everybody's getting gas. I mean, you got a variety of people coming through that get gas for their own car, that see you doing your job. And so it was kind of important that we did that. But it does put a mark on your back when you're driving. That's why I have to stress to my guys, everybody's watching you. I mean, I've got people videoing with their phone driving down the street saying, your guy's weaving in and out of traffic, and your guy's driving recklessly, or he looks like he's falling asleep. And so the front facing cameras we have on them, we can see it firsthand. And some people just like to complain, and some people are balls on.
and see, that's one thing that a lot of people don't think about, that you're having to think about on the daily and at night. I mean, all those type of complaints, like whenever you get a call like that, someone saying, hey, your driver's doing this or your driver's doing that, it makes you feel a certain way inside until you go back and look at the cameras, and then you're like, then that's when you
jump in their boat right away.
Exactly.
You're like, I'm mad like you're mad. My guy is doing that. And you go back and investigate it, and then you have to kind of like apologize to your guy subconsciously for accusing them. But we've just done enough for the majority of these to be accurate complaints and logical or feasible complaints. And so, that's a hard one when you get those. You don't have your phone number stuff on your trucks.
No, we don't. And we also don't have cameras either. But like, as far as the way my guys have been driving, the most that's happened was with us, it was like a semi hitting our truck. But they ended up paying our worker for like 2 weeks, and it went pretty easy. Like, honestly, that was like the easiest hit that we've ever had to go through. Because
commercial vehicle hits a commercial vehicle, who's more at fault, and one's going to step up pretty much.
But that trucking company, they stepped up automatically because I think they hit 2 people. He wasn't able to stop, so he went to the side, hit the side of our truck, and knocked off our side mirror. And nobody got hurt, but they still paid the driver and my installer for 2 weeks pay, and then paid the truck damage.
Nice.
And it happened quick. My guys got paid the very next week.
That actually brings up, my insurance company told us this, that people know this. And so this is what makes them such huge lawsuits. We had a guy get in a wreck, and the lady that was part of the wreck was like, oh, I work for an insurance company, and all you have to do is say this and do this, and you'll get it. And she did everything she said to him, getting that payout. But these people that have all this knowledge of this, they instigate these wrecks, and then they go after these trucking companies, knowing that the companies, they don't want the smoke, they don't want to fight, and so they have this bar that they set that anything under that they'll pay out, without question. It's worth it for them to not go to court and not go through all the stuff. And I don't care how big I am, I'll fight you tooth and nail if we're right. I mean, that's
I mean, why would you not? That's just giving away free money.
But I guess you're paying your attorneys quadruple the amount that somebody's trying to settle on, and they know the long road ahead. And that's why these people are like, look, I want $6 million, but I'll settle for $1 million. And they do it. And it's just mind blowing.
No, it really is.
But I feel like if you have an accusation, regardless, across anything, whether it be against a family, against a spouse, against a man or a woman or a company or a trucker or whatever, and it's not a true case, I guess, you should be held to what you were asking for that company.
No, you really should. I mean, that would stop a lot of people trying to get one over on somebody.
Yeah. Put some fear in people with the false. Like, if something happens to you, by all means, you deserve to have justice. But people see it, and they again, we're back to the, hey, I can duplicate that, but if I change this, and this, I'm going to win. And they just falsify everything.
Another thing people aren't thinking about is that with them lying, they can mess up that business.
Yeah. Just the accusation
how many people's
alone.
lives they could be messing up doing that.
Yep. Just the accusation could bury somebody.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You're like, no, that's not us, and we didn't do that. And all of a sudden, everybody, the public's looking at, why would they even say that? And so it just makes the whole thing, and it just buries the reputation.
It really does.
But yeah, we'll go ahead and go into the next topic. It's sleep is for employees. We kind of touched base on that with the panic attacks at night.
Yeah.
But I don't think people understand how little sleep we actually get.
Honestly, to me, I think I might even have like a little bit of insomnia because I think almost every day I'm like 1, 2 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. Go to bed and wake up and do it again.
Yep.
And you're running. I won't lie. I feel like I get decent amount of sleep, but I do feel days that I'm more tired, or I do have days that I just feel drained, and then I have days that I'm just running nonstop. And I go back and look at my sleep habits, and they're off the charts.
One day you're going to sleep early, the next day later.
Yep. It's just, you can go to bed at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and back up at 5.
Yep.
And my wife, Amanda, it's her sister. She's a teacher, and she's worse than I am. She'll be up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning doing stuff, and then go to bed, and she'll be up before I am taking a shower. And I'm like, go back to bed.
That's usually how I am. 2 o'clock, 1, 2 o'clock is usually whenever I go to sleep. Wake up around 6:30.
Yeah.
Get the day going. Yeah. From there.
It usually catches up though. I mean, you end up sleeping away your weekend or something. So it's just hard where as an employee, I'm done for my 40-hour shift, or I'm done for the week, and I'm going home, where my phone's still ringing, and I'm sure your phone's still ringing.
It's still getting texts, everything.
Yep. Customers, employees, again, dealing with stuff on the back end. And then if it's not that, it's your family.
Exactly.
That started at work. Hey, can you take the kid to this event? And we got this going on this weekend.
And that's one thing I don't want to do is I don't like if I was to work all week, put all my time and effort into everything I'm doing all week, but then on the weekend, when I do have time to be with my family, I'm too tired to do anything. Yeah. I want to be there for them. So I try to
muscle through it.
Exactly. And not feel tired, so I can be with them, because like, if you really think about it, my daughter, those years go by so fast.
Oh my God.
And like, you really want those years back. So like right now, on the weekends and whenever I do get the time, I try to spend as much time with her as possible, just so that I can
just watching it fly by, and then missing out. You see the things that you miss out on. It weighs on you so much so that when you're at work, you're kind of reflecting back on the weekend, seeing the opportunities, other things you could have done.
Yep.
Kids, I want to go get ice cream. And you're like, well, you're just out. Like, us living way out here to go get ice cream is 20 minutes. And it's sometimes I catch myself fighting myself saying, just go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other side saying, we're not driving 20 minutes. And you have that battle, but the logical part says you can sleep later. Let's just go.
Yep. And then get that time in with her.
Yep. And they enjoy it. I mean, that's I guess the biggest payoff. And that's why I think we do what we do, is for the freedom and mobility to be there when our kids need us.
Exactly. Yep. I do the same thing. I drop my daughter off at school in the morning. That's my most favorite time of the day, is because me and her get in the car, we get a vibe going, listen to music, get something to eat, we talk, and then we'll get to school early and we'll sit in the parking lot and we'll just sit there.
Just chat and hang out.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then I'll drop her off, and that's how I like to
Yeah.
start my day. And then on days that I know that, okay, I got a free hour around the time that she gets out, I'll call my wife and I'll tell her, hey, I'll go get Aniston.
Yep. Be in the area and be able to go grab lunch with her and stuff.
And I used to do that too whenever she was in elementary, but
Yeah.
middle school, they don't like,
Yeah.
not my daughter, but I guess the school doesn't like
Yeah.
parents to really go up there
Yep.
for lunch that much anymore.
And that's when you realize it won't be forever.
Exactly.
And so if you don't go out of your way to make it, later is going to be regret.
100%.
And so, man, I can appreciate that as a parent and as family.
Yeah.
That's a really cool thing. And to be able to have that freedom. So
100%. And I wouldn't take it back for the world.
Yep. So that kind of leads us into this other topic. I invested in what? Where's the payoff? And so we kind of answered that question. For anybody with a family, this is the payoff.
Yeah, it really is.
It's not about having, 20 cars and living in this luxurious house and having gazillions of dollars, but your real riches are in your family.
Yeah, 100%. And it's about your time.
Yeah.
And what you're able to do with it.
Yep. I lead this to you, put this back on your plate. But I started this company to have a little bit more freedom to make a drive to where my son is. He lives in Houston, about 4 hours from us. And I had to start this because I couldn't find a job that would let me off on Mondays and Fridays, and sometimes Thursdays and stuff. And so I had to start something that gave me that freedom. And I found it to be more stressful doing all that. But when you work between the times I'd go down there and see him, you learn to put all the work in now, even though it's overwhelming, that you can rest later. So I want to put this back on you and the payoff, because I know about where y'all's company started and where y'all are at now and the stress that y'all are going through. We won't get into a lot of that, but there's a lot of stress within the business and the family and everything. The payoff for you when we talk about this is at work you have a life, and I tell everybody, leave it at the door, right? When we come into work, anything we're battling here, I'm going to dig into you as an employee.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're my brother, sister, uncle, aunt, dad, mom. I've been in those positions with both of my parents working where we're at. But when you step outside the door and you're able to leave it at the door, and then now you have family issues or family problems, to know how to separate those. When we talk about the payoff, what do you say about being able to distinguish the two, separating the two? Does that make sense?
Are you like issues with my family, like as far as like the family at home or the
just
like,
the business? Yeah, because you work with your brothers, right? And so, if y'all get in there and you're like, listen, and you're the boss man, so it's like, I need this job done today, and they're like, no, brother, like I can't do that today because I've got such and such, and you're like, well, we've already told the customer. When y'all leave and we go out and have a family outing, do we leave that and that's a problem for Monday? Or when we get out there and we're having fun, we're like, hey, did you get that job done? Are y'all good at leaving those problems?
Honestly, we are, because we all know how to make each other feel accountable, and we all are accountable, like for everything that we do. We have Adrian, he does all the cutting. Mm-hmm. Angel, he does the fabrication. Carlos, he does the installs. So like whenever I'm trying to get jobs done, if Adrian isn't able to cut it because he has something to do, I know that Carlos will end up stepping up, do the cut, Angel will get it fabricated, and we're going to get it done. Or Adrian will come in early one day and get it cut. Exactly.
Or stay later the day before.
Exactly. Yep.
To make up for that.
And that's the same thing with Angel. Angel, like right now, we have 3 really huge jobs going on right now. And Angel's been coming in early, and he's been staying later just to get it done. And Adrian's just been knocking out everything that we need to.
That's awesome. And everybody knows what's riding on it. So
exactly.
That's the coolest part. And so I asked that strictly for the audience to say, okay, how does family and friends work together and not let it impede their life outside of work?
It's hard sometimes, but me and my brothers are so close and have been doing it with each other for so long that we already know how each other is. There's always going to be some arguments.
Yeah.
But
But that argument can stay at work.
Exactly.
It's like, why didn't you order the granite? Or why'd you cut it? Why'd you drop it? Why'd you break it?
Yep.
And then outside of work, who cares?
Exactly.
And so I feel like that's a huge thing that a lot of companies get mixed in, because when you start, it is easier to go with family. It's harder to go out and find somebody, A, that's going to work their butt off like your family would,
Yep.
and B, that's not going to come in and start screaming, this is not a good work environment, and these are outside labor laws and stuff. When you're starting a business, you do what you have to do to make it work.
Yep. And one good thing is all of us, we all care about what we're doing. So
Yeah.
there's not one of us who isn't going to feel it if we're not
Successful at it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's if one guy can bury the whole ship.
Yep.
We're at 20 something employees and we're still there. We're still, one guy can ruin everything.
Yeah.
And I don't know when that goes away, honestly. I'm
Yeah,
being observant.
because you're looking to see is there anything I can learn from this company that I saw end up going under. Like I do the same thing whenever it comes to like granite shops.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard so many stories of why some of them went down, and then there's a lot of people who go and will go and get a lot of material on consignment, and they'll get 100,000 on consignment, 200,000. They'll pay 100 down and sell all the material and not pay the rest, and then
but have no money to keep moving.
100%.
So it's almost like they lost money in the sales, which is a terrible thing to do when that's supposed to be your bread and butter.
100%.
Yeah, you have to be very careful in that. Running a business has to have a strategy behind it, and I think a lot of people don't realize that.
Money management too. You have to know where it's going, and you really can't splurge on a bunch of random stuff. It needs just to be pretty much solely for what you're doing.
Yeah. We use a bookkeeping software that does that. It gives me reports, gives me the health of the company. So as long as we're inputting the information, I can put in payroll, I can put in all our expenses, and then I invoice out of there. So it's putting in all the income. And then when the invoice is paid, it puts in that into the account. So you can see kind of, you're billing people, but you're not getting paid, or you're spending more money than you're making, or payroll is just out the, Wazoo, you better do something about payroll or something.
And see, that's another thing about being a business owner is there's some contracts that you might do a few houses for, and they might owe you 20, 30, 40 grand, and you might not see that for like 2 or 3 months or some. There's some big builders who they don't pay you out until they sell the house.
Yeah.
Or it's actually on the market.
So you're on consignment.
Exactly.
And we're like, we'll buy that granite today, but we won't pay for it. So this house is done and sold.
Yeah, because in our industry, a lot of the times we always get half down for the job, and that's to pay for materials and the start of the labor and fabrication. And some of those, like DR Horton, I hear they want to pay you at the end of the job.
It's when, luckily for them though, their turnover on houses are pretty quick.
Yeah.
And so it may be, that's one of those things you have to make your decision. Is the contract worth the payout?
Is it worth it? Yeah. And then you have to believe it, because you're going to have to be dealing with it whenever you're on books. You might have $50,000 or it's coming in, but you don't know when, and you're going to have to get that money from somewhere to pay out the employees for the work that they did.
Those big builders, and I've been in the game, the construction game. I'm a licensed plumber by trade, and we saw a lot of this. We were business owners in that and would go do plumbing and stuff. But when you get those big builders, they're pricing you out against other, and you have to win the bid. You have to win the job.
Yeah.
And so sometimes, even when they pay you, is not a lot of money because of the fact
that you had to be really competitive.
Yep. You have to be able to run through these jobs.
Yeah.
And you're hoping, obviously, that they stay on track like they say they are. So you're bidding, 20 houses, 60 houses, 100 houses, and they're giving you this time frame of 3 months, 6 months. And so you do the math, and that's the other part of running a business is, does this make sense? And when I math it out and I look at the whole plan, is this going to make sense? And it has to go as planned.
Exactly.
And that's where employees don't understand. When we schedule a job and the guy calls in, fine, take off. But now I have to call the customer. This eats into our plan. This eats into our schedule and our strategy of what we're doing.
That eats into what you're doing tomorrow too, because like in my industry, if I'm like 1 or 2 guys short, then I'm gonna have to stop doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna have to go on the install, try to get it done. Or if it's such a big install that we're not gonna be able to finish, then I'm gonna have to cancel it for that day, switch it to the next day, but then switch everything else during the week one day back or try to get a second crew going to where I can try to get both of them knocked out the day after. And it's a big whirlwind that I'm having to deal with.
And this guy's counting on you so he can schedule the next guy.
Exactly.
I mean, you can't put a drain in, you can't put a sink in, you can't put faucets in. You know, y'all are putting granite on shower walls and stuff. They can't do the next step. And so you're delaying them.
And then if I'm not able to get that installed until the next day, then they're going to have to call the plumber, and they're going to have to reschedule the plumber for the following day after that. And who's to say the plumber's not already booked for that day?
Right.
And then that could be multiple problems that I just had to cause for the homeowner. So you might end up being unhappy with me.
Those are hard calls to make.
Yep.
And again, we go back to, I don't sleep at night. What's the payoff?
Exactly.
All this rolls into it. And I like this segment so that just in gas pump calibrations, compliance, all the things that we do, granite install, construction, all things that you do, how far out this goes just in those two industries of the strategy, the planning, the finances, everything that goes into operating a business, why the top starts and is the hardest part.
Yeah. Yep.
Very good. That's a good topic. This next segment I want to get into. So I've never thought I would be driving an electric car. You got into one first. You're kind of one of the reasons I got into mine. I was humoring the idea. Strictly, I talked about I had to drive to Houston, which is 4 hours away, and I would have to leave on Fridays, go back on Sundays, just eating up all my time. It started wearing on my back, sitting, holding the steering wheel, doing all this. And I humored it, and it got around to you, and you're like, hey, come drive mine.
Yep.
So I want to base this whole thing on basically rumors, the pros, the cons, everything about electric vehicles, passing this on because there's a lot of misconceptions on them.
So many.
Not that we're experts, but we're going to bring some humor to this because I think it's hilarious that my industry is in gas and I'm preaching, hey, everybody needs to buy gas so I can have a gas station to go do.
Yep.
But by the way, I'm going to pull up in this electric car. So
look at my Tesla.
Yeah. And with all these different problems, the segment is titled Battery Powered Problems for Electric Vehicles.
Yep.
The first title on this is charge. We'll talk about charging. That's the biggest, I guess, question from everybody. The whole thing with EV is, well, you don't have to buy gas.
Yeah.
But we do have to pay for electricity. So does that balance out when you look at your stats? The car gives you an app, gives you stats.
Honestly, to me, it does balance out because for as much as I drive, this was before gas was at the crazy prices that they're at right now. This was a year ago.
To me, I think it's more beneficial now.
Yeah, way more.
But when the prices were $2 a gallon, it was a balance, I would say.
A year ago, I was spending around like $250 to $220 a week just in gas for the amount of miles I was driving a week. And to go from that to paying like $35 a week, to me was just a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And right now it's saying, I think it's like $5,000 or $6,000 that I've saved over the year, just with electric. The only thing that kind of makes you feel it a little bit is I charge mine at home all the time. But whenever you charge it, you don't pay anything right then and there.
Right.
Whenever your electric bill comes, that's whenever you see how much you're actually using. So my electric bills went up like $200.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I know. We just moved into our new house. And so I expected my electric bill to go up, and then I got my car pretty much, you have to put them on order. So you don't just buy a Tesla unless you go get a used one, but you order it, you build it to what you want, and then they put it on this assembly line and then you get it.
Yep.
And so I had bought mine a while back. I contribute. I don't even care about the electric bill. For the first 3 or 4 months, A, I was excited to drive my car, and B, my truck, I had to put it in the shop for a couple of issues. And so I was like, take it. And they're like, well, it's going to take a few weeks. We're going to have it. I'm like, by all means, keep it. I'm loving my car. So I didn't go to a gas station for months. And I think you're probably in the same boat.
Yep.
When's the last time you went to the gas station?
I haven't, honestly, can't even tell you.
What about like Mallory's car? Y'all,
I've still, even in her car, I haven't been to the gas station. The only time I've been to the gas station was to maybe pick up gum or something like that.
Yeah. Just going in and buying stuff, not having to get gas.
Yeah.
So that was a cool thing that every morning I just wake up and go to work.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about stopping and getting gas and doing all the things. And luckily I'm an office person, so I'm able to go to work, come back. Now, you're in a different boat. And I'm in a different boat when I'm driving to Houston. And I'll get into that in a minute. You're going through charges throughout the day. And so you have to stop and charge. And so talk a little bit about that, because that's what everybody's asking. I get a lot of those questions. When you charge, how long does it take? Is it hard to find a charging station? Are you waiting in line? Because there's only so many charging stations instead of gas pumps. And so with the charging, let's bring some clarity to that.
Okay. Whenever it comes to me driving at work, what I usually do is I charge my car at night. By the morning, it's fully charged.
Do you do 100% or 80? What do you charge yours to?
Right now, I do 100%.
Yeah.
Just because I know I need it. Mm-hmm. And even right now, let's say out of 5 or 6 days during the week, I might have to stop twice or 2 days out of the week to charge my car midday because of how many miles I drive.
Yeah. Well, I asked this, the 80% or 100%, because Tesla recommends the 80%. So if you think of putting water in a jug and filling it all the way up and then freezing it, it would overflow, kind of like putting a Coke can in a freezer and it explodes or whatever.
Yeah.
Your charger, if you put it in 100% and it's hot outside, it expands and would end up damaging it. And so they recommend the 80%. However, if you know you're going to drive, like when I go to Houston, I'll charge it 100%, knowing I'm draining it quickly.
Yeah.
And so when you charge 100%, that's why I ask if you're doing that. So charging 100%, you're able to go the whole day.
Yeah. Just depends on where I'm going. I might have to stop once during the day, but whenever I stop, honestly, it's nothing to me because I'll pull into the charging station, the car parks itself, and I'll plug it in. Might charge it for 5 to 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And it might cost me like $2, $2 or $3.
Yep.
And I'll go into the store, grab a drink, maybe some gum or small snack, come back out, maybe give it like 2 more minutes and then pull it out and leave.
Yep. It's easy. And you have so much time. Even if it took you 20 minutes, how many people are sitting in their car or have things to do, online shopping, or you and I sitting there working, have a laptop out?
It all depends on how long I'm going to stay at the charger, depending on where I'm actually going to be going. Like if I know I have 50 miles that I have to go and that it's going to be another round trip, then I might charge it for 15, 20 minutes. But during that time, this is perfect for me to get invoicing done, or here, let me work on this square footage for this bid.
Yep.
Or I'll be writing down money to collect during the week, or jobs coming up, jobs for next week, and I'll always be doing something within that time. So it kind of gives me a little bit of time to reflect on the day, get ready for the next day, and get other things in order.
Well, we talk about utilizing your time.
Yeah.
And that's a perfect, when you're getting gas, it's so quick. And so that's the habit of getting gas and charging at a gas station, or wherever you end up charging. It's hard to understand that. I would really allow yourself at least 5 to 10 minutes to charge.
Yeah.
Especially, you don't have to charge it full, just enough. And your car tells you if you're going to this destination, you just need this much charge.
Exactly. It'll even tell you like stop and charge for 5 minutes.
Yeah. When I'm going to Houston, I charge it and I have my route set. So I'm able to go and I get in there. And one of my stops that I charge, it's pretty much the same route over and over and over again. I have a very large gas station I stop at, and they have about 20 chargers, the Tesla chargers. And then on the other side of the lot, they have another set of unbranded chargers. I don't know what brand they are or whatever. And one thing that I noticed with a Tesla versus other EVs, all Teslas, their charging port is on the driver's side back corner. A lot of the other electric cars, they're either in the front in the hood or in the front quarter panel. And so I'm going to kind of lead this charge section into some funny things that happen at the charging station. I'll kind of start off. I know you probably got a few, but the very first time I got my car, I was driving and I had to pull over and charge on my way to Houston. And I pull over and I'm charging and I'm letting it charge. I know the limit. I've got my whole route planned. It's like, it's telling me when to charge and how far I can go on that charge. And so I'm getting to this charge level and this guy comes up and I'm new to charging. I was nervous. I was all new. I was scared what people are thinking about me. Nobody cares. Yep. Nobody, now that I've charged so many times, it's just like
nobody's thinking about anything.
Yeah. Nobody's looking at him like this noob guy over here charging, doesn't know anything.
That's a new Tesla owner right there.
And so I'm sitting here and this guy knocks on my window and he says, "How long are you going to be?" And I didn't think anything of it. And I was like, I don't know. I'm trying to read my screen, like 10 minutes, something like that. And he goes, okay. And he goes and gets back to his car, and he's driving. I think it's the Hummer. I want to say it was the Hummer or an Escalade or something. And he comes back over there about 2 minutes later, and he's like, hey, do you think you can hurry? And I'm like, now I'm handling this way different.
So I'm going 100% now.
Yes. So I'm thinking, how am I going to hurry to charge? Like, I can't push the electric.
I don't have no powers to just sit there and charge this up myself.
And I said, I don't know. I said, let me just a little bit more, and I'll see if it's good. And it wasn't a minute later, he comes back over and he goes, hey, everybody's pissed because now I go back to where the charging point is. He is parked inside the parking lot, but he's blocking one that he can't charge on because the Tesla chargers are made to be on the other side. So he's blocking that one, but he needs my charger to plug into his. So he was going to be blocking 2 units. And when I realized what was going on, I did feel sorry for him because I was getting back in the car to see where it was at. And I heard this guy goes, why are you blocking all the Tesla chargers, asshole? And then as he's walking off, another guy goes, you need to buy a Tesla if you're going to be parking here. And they're not Tesla. Like, it's not allocated for a Tesla. It's just the brand Tesla there. And so this guy was like really getting it from all directions. And apparently a lot of things happened that I didn't see, even though I was oblivious to it while sitting in my car. And so I ended up packing up and getting out of his way. But if that happens now, I'm probably one of those guys. They've probably seen it enough times. But it was just those things that happen in a charging station.
He probably got bullied into getting a Tesla now.
I'm telling you, man. You have a Cadillac, but that ain't nothing when you're in Tesla field.
I know. Honestly, the craziest charging story that I've seen was I saw someone back up, run into the Tesla charger. Yeah, they hit it, and then they ran over the
plug.
Yeah, the plug.
Yeah,
and then the plug and everything started smoking.
Ooh. So the thing is, it's like I charged in the rain, and everybody's like, it's electricity in the rain. And there was a video I watched. The guy's like, it's nothing. He's swinging around. He's putting it in the water and doing all this and plugging in his car and plugging it out. Just making a video, just being funny or whatever. Yeah. But it does. I put it in the charger. But I always thought about that. When you hit it, I'm sure there's features built in it, just like gas pumps. But I mean, at one point, there's got to be something that you damage that could cause and allow it.
I thought that too. And whenever I saw that, I thought that was weird. And I was waiting to see what would happen, but the most that it was doing was like smoking.
Yeah. I mean, it's electricity. That would have scared me. I'd have left.
It was over in Fort Worth, off the highway, and it was a further one that was close. It was by itself.
Yeah.
And so I was like across from it. So
yeah,
I was just sitting there watching that, like, I wonder what's going to happen. Is there going to be a fire or anything? But then all it was smoking, and then I saw someone move it and set the plug on the concrete.
I would have been scared to touch it. I
wouldn't have went over there because I was like,
you see videos of people touching electricity and they just like freeze up. And I know it is getting shocked, but you can't. It's like a silent.
There's some that you can actually hear
just humming
like,
through
just
it.
A zzz.
Yeah. We actually almost bought a house around the corner, and it's by the power lines. And we were out there, and this is kind of what scared me about the car. And I've kind of researched it, and I actually bought a meter that tests a certain frequency of that. And there was a rumor that that frequency could cause like leukemia in kids and brain tumors and stuff. And so we backed out of that house real quick.
Yeah.
So much so that the realtor wanted to prove this wrong. It's called milligauss. It measures in milligauss. And she wanted to prove us wrong, so she said, hey, your meter you bought is cheap. She went and bought an extra one, and we went over to the house, and she put it in there and tested electricity, and it was triple what mine was reading. And she left. I don't know if she moved subdivisions or if it just happened that way, but it was like, we were like, oh, I wonder if that affected her or whatever. And that one went really deep because we were getting ready to back out of the house, and they were talking about losing our money. And I'm like, we don't want to go down that road.
Yeah.
I get so many people in here to test this. And if there's any reasons on why this is dangerous or electric poles could be dangerous, but you could hear the electricity humming through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I never thought anything about it. But when I asked some people at work, and they're like, yeah, it can do this. So that led me and Amanda down the road to research that. And there was real strong evidence that it may have caused all this. And I said, if we got into the house and something happened, would we relate it to this? And both of us, knowing us,
it's like, yeah, you would have had to, because that was already in your head.
Yep. So even if that would have happened outside of this house, now we're relating it to the house. And I said, we would be dealing with something while trying to move.
Yeah.
And that's not a boat I wanted to be in. And so we ended up backing out of the house. But anyways, back to the Tesla. I bought that and I put it around the car. I put it on the charger. I put it on the charger there. And it does do a little bit, but it's not near the frequency it was doing at the house. So the big poles. So I had a question on, did it cause any of that or could it cause any of that? And there's not any really rumors that it's the electricity damages cells or anything. So I just wanted to put any kind of, if there's a researcher, it would have been us. So our meters and everything shows that it doesn't seem to have any kind of issues, health issues. Yeah.
When do you usually charge your car? Do you charge it at home or do you actually go to a supercharger?
No, I charge 80% every day, or I say every day. I charge it 80% when I get down to like 20. So if I'm driving it back and forth to work, if I'm not using my truck, I'll charge it to 80% back up until I'm making a big trip. But I don't, when I'm local, I never use a charger. I'm always, we actually went to Oklahoma and I did charge at the hotel we were staying at. They charged it. They asked me, you want us to charge it? I'm like, sure, why not? So they charged it. And luckily they did, because we went from Durant to Granbury. And had they not charged it, we would have been stopping and charging.
Yeah. And see, that's one thing that I'm not sure of is I drive a bunch of miles a day, and that's the only reason why I do the 100%.
Yeah.
Even though I know I should do the 80. I was doing 80 for the longest time up until me and you had that conversation where it's like,
yeah,
hey, you might as well do it to 100% if the battery's going to go out.
I almost just said that. I forgot we had that conversation.
Yeah,
I almost said that. Do it while it's under warranty.
Exactly. And I drive so much that it's like, why would I charge to 80 when I know I'm going to have to stop at a supercharger? But what do you think? I mean, what would be your take on?
I do it anytime I know I'm going to drive, a distance. I want to do it at 100. Like when I knew we were going to Durant, I went ahead and did 100. We got there at like 75%. So it used 25% of that. So I was still under the 80. And then I had it still, because in the app, you can set it to what you want the charge to be. I left it at 100. Thank God I did. They charged overnight, got in it. It was at 100. It was in the parking garage, so they didn't have direct sunlight. So I didn't worry too much about that.
Yeah.
When we got the car back, it was 100, and we made it to Granbury and then back home without having to charge. So,
do you have a ritual for road trips that you go on?
Just the Houston one. I don't really drive. We'll take my car if we're going somewhere with the family. It's just a 4-seater, 5-seater, and there's 6 of us. So when our daughter's home from college, then we'll usually take my truck or something, but or Amanda's car. But when we take the Tesla, I mean, I don't think I've ever been to a point where I'm like, I need to be at 100 constantly or something. But if I know it's going to be sitting, I don't. I just charge it to 80 or leave it where it's at.
Like, what do you usually do whenever you go on a big road trip? Do you turn what mode do you leave it on when you're self-driving? Do you have the accent lights on? Like, what do you do to make sure that you can get your battery to last the longest?
I want to talk about that because that's a lot of people, like when you're driving your gas car and you have your AC blowing and it's cold and you have your radio on and you have, like, your car is using battery every single thing you do.
Yeah.
Whereas a gas car doesn't really use more gas using your AC. I mean, it's arguable. People say,
people say that it uses a little bit of it,
but it's not like an electric car.
Exactly.
So yes, you want to be more aware. Right. And so I'll turn my main display, because think of it like an iPad.
Yeah.
You can adjust the brightness and stuff like you can an iPad. So I put it on 0 where I can vaguely see it. And then of course I turn the ambient lighting off.
Yeah.
I put it on nighttime only. So at night it still comes on. Even the lighting around the feet. I love driving when it's cold because I'd have a pillow and blanket.
Yeah.
And there's something that we don't have on here, but we're going to touch base on it. And that's the auto drive, because that's the whole reason I bought it. And I think that's one of the reasons you bought the Tesla. So it wasn't about having an electric car. And that was a misconception from a lot of people. Me and Amanda was walking one day and the neighbor came out and was meeting us. We just moved into a neighborhood and we were sitting there talking, and he was like, and we're probably 4 houses down from us. And in my driveway is her car, and my truck. And we're sitting out there, and this guy comes around in his Tesla, the Tesla,
making that noise.
Yeah, and the guy goes, "Oh, there's one of those electric guys driving his car," and I'm like, "Gulp." I'm like, "Yeah, that's my Tesla in the driveway over there."
I know what you mean. I've had to do that before too.
But it's not that I guess there's 2 Tesla version of people. There's the green energy environment.
There's just a big stigma to a lot of people that have Teslas, and I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, because I think the lack of knowledge.
And there a lot of people that actually haven't like been in one and actually got to feel it. I mean, to me, that's what sold it for me, was driving one for the first time. And then,
yeah, it was definitely nice. It is a nice car. And of course, there's a lot of electric vehicles. I looked at a lot of different ones. Again, it wasn't for the electric. If they had a gas auto drive or autopilot or autonomous.
autonomous driving car.
Yeah. But it's they call it supervised. So the Tesla, they call it supervised self-driving, because you still have to be alert. You still have to be in there and paying attention. Otherwise, it won't let you use the auto drive.
Exactly.
So that's a big misconception, is you can get in the back seat or whatever. There's videos and people doing it or whatever. Maybe they hack the system or whatever. I'm not smart enough to do any of that.
I've seen somebody to where they took their cell phone, or they got a picture, put it in front of the camera. And I don't know if it was a video, if it was a picture, and supposedly it didn't
recognize.
Yeah, it didn't recognize that it wasn't really them.
Like the movie Speed, when they had the same video playing on loop so they could escape from the bus.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I could see how that would happen. That seems like a long way to go around something, to put yourself in a dangerous position. There's been times where I had to take the wheel or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good for the most part.
I love the self-drive.
Yeah.
All the jobs that I drive to, I'm always up self-drive.
Yep.
And then what I'll do is I'll do the self-drive. I'll put my notebook on the armrest, and I'll sit there and I'll be writing down square footages or doing a bit or something like that.
Editing podcasts. Sitting right there.
You pretty much do anything.
Yep. Well, the problem is, so it tells you the stats of your car, right? And I think you know this.
Yeah.
And of course you said 50,000 miles on your Tesla.
I think 55.
55. I have 17,000 on mine, and my stats is 97% auto drive. So 97% of the 17,000 I drove, has the car been driving that, and I've drove the remaining 2%, whatever. And what is yours at? Have you ever looked at that?
I haven't looked at mine recently.
Check it out. It's funny. You don't realize it, but it made me think. Me and Amanda got in a fight one day, because she's like, we were in a hotel and we were going somewhere. I can't remember where we were at, but we were leaving the hotel. And this already is a topic, because it's hard for me to spend $20 on a cup of coffee. Especially when you leave the hotel and the coffee's free. But Amanda's like,
Starbucks.
Yeah, I want to go to Starbucks. And I'm like, okay, look at the address. She's like, it's right there. I'm like, no, I need the address. He's like, it's right there.
So I don't want to drive. Just give me the address.
The address now. And then so she's getting in there. We get in the address. We find it. We audit, like we're searching it and stuff. We find it. I hit it there, and then sit back. It drives there. But now it's not even comfortable, because now we're fighting.
Yep. Honestly, tell you the truth, auto drive has been a game changer for me.
It's wild.
Yeah, it really is. And there's a lot of people who I talk to about it, and they're like, how do you trust that? They're like, I could never trust that. I'm like, I thought the same thing at first, and then you get in and it drives better than, I would say, 90 to 95% of the people out there. Yeah.
Well, so I heard this, and I've been telling people this, but then I read that I don't know if it's true. So one thing, and of course, I've had my kids in the car with me. I've had my wife in the car with me, and I'm driving, and there's a tire in the road. There's a pothole. There's a car came in our lane. We saw a wreck in front of us. There's a cop trying to pass us. There's a cop pulled over. There's a car pulled over, changes tire, and the car uses his blinker. It gets over. It passes it. It gets back over. It dodges. It's seeing all these things simultaneously in all cameras, and it's able to make a move that's with the best judgment that would beat human instinct. Of course, it is a computer, so that could fail at any time. So that's the nervous part of it. Yeah. But as of right now, it does it.
Yep. And it's just the same thing for me. I've been in the car, and there was a ladder that was broken into 3 pieces, and I was doing self-driving. I was on the highway, and I was about to take over, but then the car swerved, and then I got scared, and I swerved to miss the other part of the ladder, and then I was in the 3rd lane to where the last piece was, and then the car swerved again, and I missed every single piece of the ladder. And it's done that multiple times, and I've seen it do things like that. and move out of the way whenever a car, it seems like someone's not paying attention and is going into your lane. It dodged so many things. The only thing that I would say that I've really had an issue with, but it's hit or miss, is sometimes whenever I'm on hurry mode, there might be a small speed bump that isn't like tall, and it won't slow down for them, and then you're just sitting there.
You're hitting the brakes having to get in front of it. Yeah, the new update's supposed to be able to see or know potholes and speed bumps and different things. But that goes back to the question I was going to ask. So I heard, and I've told everybody this, but then I found out later that it might not be true. And if it's not, Tesla, here's your plug. If you have 50 Teslas in a area and they're all driving on these roads, the camera footage network with each other. So this car is seeing what that car saw 40 feet, a mile, 2 miles ahead to anticipate this one going. So do you know if that's a thing or?
I don't know if it's a thing for sure. I've thought about that exact thing, but I don't think...
It doesn't need the inside camera, so it's not impeding your environment or your personal space. But if it's using the front cameras...
it's already ready for what is
at least on
the
freeway.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe that's a privacy thing that you're outside of the car and it's watching you or whatever. So you're obviously not out of the car if you're on the freeway. So maybe if they want to start out with something that allocates it specifically on the freeway use, that it allows access to certain cameras that can see certain things.
Yeah.
And then it can network those cameras.
I think that would be cool, and I would think that'd be the next level up for them as far as the self-driving goes.
Yeah. It's been, like you said, it's been a game changer.
What do you think is the future? How long do you think it'd be until we get unsupervised?
Man.
And another question is, I still haven't heard any stories. Has anybody, even though I really don't drink, has anybody gotten pulled over drinking while they're self-driving? So, and what did they get pulled over for?
I'm going to tell a story that I'm not self-admission, so I'm going to use different people that may or may not have happened to. But they were playing softball one night in a beer league, and it was one of the guys' birthdays, and they're all out there drinking and stuff. And this guy was so intoxicated that he was like falling over trying to even catch the ball as a catcher. I mean, that's not. And so
that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to catch the ball.
Yeah. And the team's like, we're not going to let him drive home. And so the game's over. We're all walking to the parking lot, and everybody's like, we're not going to let him drive home. And they approached this guy and said, hey, we're not going to let you drive home. And he's like, I'm not leaving my vehicle in this parking lot. And so someone with the Tesla said, hey, why don't I type in your address, put you in, you hit that, and I'll follow you home in your vehicle. And did exactly that. And that car drove him from the parking lot all the way to his house and gave him curbside drop off, pulled the car into his driveway, left the car there, got in the Tesla and went home himself. But not to say that should be a thing, but somebody super intoxicated, it drove him home.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing is they're starting to make it to where if you buy a Tesla, I think it drives to you from
auto delivery.
Yeah, auto delivery. If they can do that, couldn't that eliminate some of the drunk driving? If, like, let's say you own a Tesla, you did get drunk, you had to self-drive you home.
I think they're there, but I'm going to backstep that one real quick because you have the robo-taxi. There's a couple of other...
I've been seeing the robo-taxis around, too.
You saw them?
Yeah, I've seen...
I haven't seen one yet.
I saw one in Houston, or actually I've seen two in Houston. I've seen one here.
In DFW?
Yeah, okay. And it was close to
the airport, maybe? I would assume.
There's a Tesla charger at the taco gas station, whatever it's called, right off of 121.
Oh, Fuel City?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was there.
Okay.
And it said Cybercab on there.
So I guess that's the question. They had a whole investment opportunity. You could buy into these, you can buy 20 of them and you can station them out. But I know how often I have to charge. I mean, they say a full charge, let's say 100% gets 310 miles is not realistic. And that's a thing for anybody looking at EVs is you don't go based off of the mileage. You plan your route based off the mileage you know you're going to get. And the car's good at telling you about how far you're going to go anyways. What do these robo-taxis do when they're not charging? Somebody said something about a charging mat.
I've been hearing the charging mat over in China. They're really advanced with EVs. I think they already have like a rolling charger that goes underneath the car and will charge it.
Yeah.
Like that. I know they have something to
And
where
if they do that, they can do that to the roads.
exactly.
So it's charging on the road. Because somebody brought up the solar panels. Somebody brought up, I always thought you could, the front of the electric cars is all plastic and it's aerodynamic, but why couldn't they put a real grill on it like your car with a radiator, put fans in there that rotates and it charges the battery, you have that, your wheels recharging. Tesla does have regenerative braking. So every time that's why they say electric cars are more beneficial in traffic or cities and not as much on long road trips versus a gas car is better on the highway than it is the city stopping and going. So there's the difference between those two, but they can't put these alternators and stuff in the car because they say, and this is, and I've heard this, and this is why I guess they put a halt to my thought of why they didn't do this, but the mechanisms that would turn all that rotation into electricity to charge the battery would add the weight to the car that would cause it to use the same amount of battery that it would generate, so it's not worth it.
Yeah.
And that made sense to me.
Yeah, it does.
So, I mean, it's like, again, they would be losing electricity. I mean, in the business aspect, they'd be losing all that electricity. And when you talk about the robo-taxis driving and charging and stuff, it's how would all that function from the business standpoint? I think we do a lot of stuff keeping ourselves from doing stuff because we would lose out the money that would require us, like the light bulb. The first light bulb lasted forever, but they would lose money on light bulbs.
Exactly.
So, well, cool. We spent a lot of time on that one because there was a lot to unpack there. I mean, the battery charging,
really was.
But also we didn't even talk about the auto drive, and I'm glad we got to touch base on that. So if you got time, we'll keep going.
Let's do it.
Cool. All right. So this topic is called no oil changes, no gas, no difference. So we won't spend a lot of time on this one because we kind of talked about the difference between gas and charging, but the oil changes, right? So if you're already budgeting for gas and oil changes, what we found when gas prices were normal, that you would spend just as much on electric as you would gas. So it's kind of a wash. Now you're just getting the benefits of the auto drive, which is again why we bought it. But you don't have the oil changes, right? So that's saving you, what is an oil change? 80, 90 bucks every.
Sometimes $100
over. I mean, depending on how much you drive, that could be. We do oil changes on our trucks almost 2-3 times a month.
Yeah.
When I was driving to Houston with my car, it was $80 twice a month.
Yeah. Yep.
So
same with me.
Yeah, and so you're saving $160, almost $200 a month in oil changes. So knowing that. You're saving that, but what other maintenance do you do in an electric car that you wouldn't have to do in a gas car?
Tire rotation, that
right?
you wouldn't have to do?
So if we don't have to do an oil change, whereas a gas car, you have to do an oil change. So you've got a $160 bill here that you don't have here. Is there a bill that like kind of offsets that you don't have with the gas car? Do you know what I'm saying?
I haven't had to do any maintenance with my Tesla at
either.
all. The only thing I've had to do was wiper fluid. Yeah. Just because on self-drive, it automatically shoots washer fluid like every few minutes. So I go through that pretty quick.
On the blogs and stuff, that is like, people are so pissed about that. They'll wash their car and they'll get in there and all of a sudden it's blowing. Because the Tesla windshield wiper fluid is like blue swamp dye. It's just like
the worst part of it is I wash my car every week.
Yeah.
But as soon as I wash my car, I forget about putting it in self-drive. I put it in self-drive. It shoots that windshield wiper fluid all over my car, and then it gets all over the body, and then it leaves the...
So I would say that's an expense, but that's only once a month. I have now a subscription to a car wash. It's like $20 a month because I go to it so frequently.
Same here.
And so that I guess that would be an expense I don't do on a gas car. Is I don't have a subscription to
car wash.
Yeah.
But
still $20 a month versus 160 in oil changes.
Exactly.
Tire rotations, Discount Tire does them for free.
Yep.
I just don't know anything yet. I'm still new at Tesla.
Same here. I'm already at like 55,000 miles. It's been 1 year, and I went and rotated my tires. I haven't had to pay just because it's discount. It's free.
Yeah.
And wiper fluid, and I'm still waiting for the first thing to happen, but I don't know what really could. Like on a regular car, maybe if I drove that much, maybe reservoir or
transmission
belt,
fluid,
something.
different things. different things. Actually, on the app, I was looking at this morning. Actually, while I was waiting for you to get here, there is a maintenance tab on the Tesla app, and it says all the required stuff. And there's really nothing crazy on there.
Actually, the only thing that I've had to do with my Tesla is I had to upgrade. I guess for the amount of miles I've already driven. I guess the warranty for some of like the outside stuff or inside stuff is
Gotcha.
has went away, so I just extended that.
Yeah. So before we move to the third one real quick, we'll talk about that real quick, is the warranty on it. So 120,000 mile warranty on the battery.
Yeah.
With another 2,000, I think it is, for another 30 or 40,000 mile warranty on the battery, so you can get to 150,000.
Yeah.
There's paint, tire, windshield for cracks and stuff. You can add all those warranties for like, I don't know, $5 a month or something. So they got all kinds of stuff. The damages are not exclusive to an electric vehicle. I mean, it can happen to a gas vehicle as well. But they have these programs, and the windows, especially on some of the models, that the window is one solid window to the moonroof.
Yeah,
I mean, if you crack that window, it's like
you're doing the whole entire thing. You're doing like two big windows.
And I would imagine, I mean, I had a Toyota Corolla or something, and it was just a normal window, but it had the lane keep assist. And so when the window cracked, it was like, I don't know, $1,800 to replace the window.
Because it had that.
Yes, the whole program and they had to reprogram the lane keep assist and stuff. And so it's not crazy that the upkeep for a Tesla. You know, that's kind of the myths about charging, the myths about the battery and the oil and all the different things. But the windshield, anything that could happen to you in a gas car can happen to you in an electric vehicle.
Exactly. And to me, since I got the Tesla, it's been the best experience I've had with the car. Mm-hmm. And honestly, looking back, I see it has been a good investment for me and for what I was wanting it for, because I'm actually using it exactly the way I was wanting to use it.
Right. And I would say Tesla's not for everybody, or electric cars not for everybody.
Exactly.
So if you're in the car a lot and stuff, and you feel that you could trust the auto drive, by all means, it's been good to me.
Yeah, same here.
No, I have no complaints.
Me neither. And
so much so I haven't used it yet, but they have two things that we didn't talk about, and we'll just kind of touch on it a little bit. Is the valet, so it actually drops you off. You can pull up at like Target, get out, and your car will go park itself.
I haven't tried that yet either.
Yep. And then when you come back out, you can summon it, and it'll come back and pick you up.
I've been summoning it all the time.
Really?
Lately. Like, because I have to go pick up a lot of stuff from Walmart, deposit checks at Walmart, and the one by our shop is always pretty packed. So I have to park at the back as soon as I'm done cashing the check, I will go to the app as I'm walking out, and then I'll
come and get it.
Push summon. And
so we're gonna have to go to a parking lot, maybe to the high school over here, and go toy with that a little bit and see if we can summon it, and you can show me how to work it.
But have you still not done it yet?
I haven't done it. No.
Yeah. Honestly, I always thought I knew how to do it because it has like an arrow that goes up and an arrow that goes down. Yeah. I always overlooked the button that says "Come to me."
Yeah.
I don't know why I did it, but I finally
it gives you an option to drive it yourself.
Yeah,
on your phone,
but you can't turn it. And anytime I was trying to summon it, I would push the two buttons to get out of a parking spot, and so I'd back up, and I'm like,
what?
Yeah, now what? Why? How's it gonna?
Well, I saw videos. I saw videos where the car's just pulled out and just sitting, and it's blocking traffic, and the guy to save him time, he's like, "Damn this!" having to run out there and move his car.
That's exactly what I did. I was doing that, and I couldn't figure it out, and there's someone like waiting, and I just ran over there.
So there's just a button that says "Come to me," and it pulls out,
and then it pulls out and does everything for you.
You're gonna have to show me that. Yeah. But I also want to look at the
valet.
Yes, the valet. You pull up, get out.
That's what I need to look at. Yeah. I still haven't updated my car.
I just did it today. It just went through the.
It's been saying it was ready for 2 days, but I forgot to do it yesterday. Okay. And whenever we went to that birthday party earlier, I was gonna do it, and whenever I did it, I guess there wasn't good Wi-Fi at that place.
Yeah.
So it stopped in the middle of it.
Yeah, I read before I did it, because obviously everybody has the reviews and stuff. So I went and read the release notes on it, and it had all this cool stuff. I mean, it's they rebuilt the whole AI system apparently.
I saw that. I think it said like 20% better on making decisions or something like that.
And now the summons maxes at 8 miles an hour instead of 5, so it gets you quicker.
Yes, and I tried whenever we were at the birthday party. I tried to summon it then, even though it wasn't even that far away from us.
Yeah.
But the summon wasn't working because I guess
The update overrode it.
I guess they overrode it, so I can't use it right now until I update it.
Yep. Yeah, I'm very interested in using it. I want to see how that works. Cool. So let's go to this last one, and then we'll get into the last segment. The next topic on this is insurance insecurities. So I guess the final piece of this puzzle on an EV car is the myths about the insurance.
Yep.
When I bought my car, they have the Tesla insurance, and so it asks you, preliminaries. How often do you drive? Where do you do it? This, all your habits. And so it gives you a estimate about what it's going to cost. And of course, I was very conservative about what I said. So 11,000 miles a year.
Yeah.
And, I don't do this and I don't do that. Well, I guess and it quoted me like $110 a month. Easy. I was like, that's cake. That's decent policy.
Good. Yeah.
Well, when I drove to Houston and when I drove it, of course, my truck was in the shop. So I was driving around a lot more than I would have anyways. And I think my first bill came in, it was like $450, $470 and stuff. And I was like, oh no, that's not happening at all. So I called and talked to Tesla and got it all worked out. So they actually cut me a deal that month, but they said they don't do it again. I'm not scared to ask. You won't ever know if you don't ask.
Exactly. You have to ask.
That's been me and my wife. It embarrasses her sometimes because I'm like, I'm not going to beg, but I'll ask to see what I can get.
Yeah.
And I end up going to our insurance. It's through the company and everything because it's a company vehicle. So it's still high.
Yeah, for sure.
But is it worth it? Is it not worth it? So what would you say about insurance insecurity? I know you got it a little cheaper. And so how would you tell them what you can do?
Honestly, all I did was they make you put down the insurance before you get the car whenever you're setting everything up. I just called my insurance company, State Farm, and told them I need to add it, gave them my VIN number. She gave me a quote right then. It was like $110.
Really?
For it. And I said, okay. And that's what it's been.
That's through your personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, mine's through the company. So
and that's probably why it was too much more.
Yep. Because it's State Farm as well. And we have 20 something vehicles on this policy. So
Yeah.
I would think multi-car discount, but it is not.
And another thing is whenever I did mine, they said it was going to be a little bit more than what the other car was.
Yeah.
Because of the value of this car. So they bumped it up to, I guess, 100,000. So if anything goes wrong with the car, then that's what they give back. And I thought it was going to be a lot more. And then they told me the price, 110. And I was like, let's do it. And
I'll just touch base on this, that Tesla, you can finance through them. They have different, obviously, perks. And I think I financed mine at 1.99%.
Yeah.
Is that, you got that?
Yep.
That was a promo. I don't know if they're still doing that.
It was the 0.99 was the promo that I got on.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah,
maybe on his
0.99, and then we also had the federal tax credit at that time.
Yep. I just actually received mine.
Oh, you did?
I just now received it. Yeah. So Texas is the only one that does that. There may be another state, but it wasn't a federal. It was a state.
Yeah. Because they gave me the $7,500 for the tax credit. And
you still got it when they had the federal. So
yes, it was the last month that they were doing the whole tax credit. So that's why it was a no-brainer for me, is because 0.99 APR, the $7,500 tax credit, I was able to use that as a down payment.
Did you get the state tax credit, or they didn't offer that?
I think it was just
You might try it because it was $2,500. Yeah. So they didn't have the state, or they didn't have the federal when I bought mine, but they had the state.
I think they did away with the federal, and now they only have
state.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's probably the time you bought it, you either qualified for one or the other.
Yeah, and it was still the time whenever the 75 was there, so I was able to put that down. The rate was good.
Yeah,
and then with the savings, with what I'm going to be doing with gas, and then everything else, it was just a no-brainer.
Yeah,
and then insurance was cheap, and I thought it was going to be more expensive because of all the stories that I've heard, and it ended up just working out.
So we ended up buying it almost for two separate reasons. You like the auto drive, but that's not really why you bought it. And I bought it for the auto drive, not for the benefit of the other stuff. And we both get to reap both the benefits. Yeah.
But I have so many people that I know that would trash Tesla. So it makes you feel like
you had to make up your own mind.
Yeah. Insecure because you're like, okay, I have to be comfortable with this. I don't got to go by what other people say.
Yeah.
And whenever you buy something, especially something big, you don't want to feel stupid or feel like,
gotcha.
Yeah. So I waited probably 3 years after I did that test drive and then finally.
Well, you got the
pull the
all
trigger.
wheel. Yours is all wheel, and it's the premium, right? So
Yeah.
I guess it's the basic or whatever, the standard, and then premium. I got the premium, but mine's two wheel.
Yeah.
I bought mine because it's supposedly the two wheel got more mileage than the all wheel. I think I would have done the all wheel if I had to go back. I would say definitely. Your all wheel during the snow weather, on point.
It was fun just because I was able to control it. I didn't really fishtail that much or anything. It was honestly great to have the all wheel. The only thing that I would say about the one that you got is it does come with more miles per charge.
Yeah,
and
I don't know. I mean, I would be interested to take yours and just see what the route looks like. But I mean, you've made that trip, so I'd just be curious on how far, because I've got in it and went right 100% left here and seen how far it would go, and I got down. I would say probably 280, maybe 290, and it was pretty close, where walking distance.
But right now you're saying that you still have 100% retention rate, right?
Yeah,
So like if you were to charge yours to 100%, well, how many miles would you have?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Probably about 290, maybe.
Because if I charge mine all the way up right now, what it reads on miles at 100% is like 295.
See, mine still says 3 something.
And mine used to be like 320 or 315, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, because mine used to say 340 or something. I think it got like 20 to 40 miles more than the all-wheel drive, what they said it would get. I don't know, obviously, if it's how close to that it is. If I was driving all-wheel, but I know what mine does. It does. Driving in the rain always makes me nervous, anyways, with rear-wheel drive, just because I've had bad experiences in wheel drive.
Yeah.
But so I always, maybe I should have went all-wheel drive. That would be my only regret. I don't know the big difference between how many miles you'd get towards it or whatever. But the price difference wasn't crazy.
No.
The 0 to 60 was about a second more.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I thought they were the same.
I think mine's supposedly like 5.3 and yours is like 4.8 or something. So it's like, it's milliseconds, but it's still quicker. But yours has the ability to add the boost.
Yeah.
Where the rear wheel you can't.
Have you tried to...
I haven't looked again.
Oh, you have?
I look often.
Okay. Because I thought about doing it. I just don't know if the whatever it is, like 0.2 seconds or whatever.
Is that what it is?
It's something weird. I don't know if it's worth it though.
I don't know. I don't know anybody. Again, the Tesla world or the electric world is small. And I will say this. One day I was at a charging station and the whole row was down. So we had to use another row, and everybody pulling in, I guess if they were like me, they're used to using that. So they pull in there and no cars are there, but you just think, oh, it's empty. So you pull in there and you put your charger in and it locks the charger in. That keeps from somebody coming out and just unplugging your charger. Right. And so it locks in, but I luckily had watched a video and did so much research that I knew kind of what to do. And I opened the trunk and there's a little latch. You can pull it and pull the charger out, and it like a safety release for your charger. But I was sitting in my car because when I would park, I'd go to the bathroom and do some stuff and come out and get my car and probably have 5 minutes left or whatever. And I'm sitting in my car and I'm watching person after person pull up and charge, and it's getting stuck. And I found myself, Mr. Helpful, walking over there and let me show you something. Pull it open, do that, and they're like, oh, that's cool, whatever. So teaching, now you're at that mode of let me show you about your car. And it's a network between people, but nobody, I feel like you and I really is the only one I really know about this, but talking to people, maybe they have that conscious of, oh, everybody's judging me too. And so when you approach them, they're like, what do you want? It's that segregation kind of thing that you don't know what don't know what their intentions are when they approach you.
And I've seen so much hate on it. I've seen so many videos of people walking up to people and like keying their Tesla, and it's got to be the northern states. I don't know if is that down south or is that up north? What everybody's. I would think it would have to be northern too.
And there was a lot of beef between Elon and Trump. I think what was causing that in the first, that everybody's now like, okay, you're a Trump hater too. Cool. I'm not going to key your cars no more.
There was someone gave him a black eye on Trump's team.
Yep. I don't understand. I mean, I guess I do understand, like you said, the stigma behind the Tesla, but I personally didn't have a vengeance one way or another, but I did kind of feel myself judgy towards it.
See, and at first I would have thought that you would have, just because of the industry that you're in. I mean,
Yep. But I also at the same time expect and understand that people are judging when I go in there. I'll kind of relate it back when my daughter was born. She was a newborn, and me and my wife were doing something or whatever, and somebody had bought us one of those slings. With the baby in it. I always relate it to the hangover, the hangover baby. And so it was one of those things like, yes, I know what I look like, and yes, it's very uncomfortable, but it is very effective.
And this is my daughter, and I love her. I'm gonna do whatever.
That was my Tesla. So I mean, it's one of those things that you just kind of don't care anymore. You don't. I've learned to whatever.
That's how I feel.
I have my reasoning, and I would think that if anybody was in my shoes, they would be doing the same thing. But again, like I said, if it was in a gas car, I would buy it too.
Exactly.
That
I would
auto
too.
drive is amazing.
It really is.
Watching people get in my car for the first time, all the kids' friends that get in there and stuff, you would think I'm like Iron Man, Tony Stark. They're like, oh, and it's like sitting back and the steering wheel's turning and it's just pulling out and driving and stuff. And I'm so used to it.
Awesome.
I don't think anything of it anymore. But all in all, I would say a well positive review.
I think so as well.
Yeah. All right, we'll go to the last segment 3. This one is called, and this kind of bridges over from the Tesla or the driving to this, but this one's called the vehicle, the driver, and the liability. So we're going to go back to business owning and then combine that with the driving aspect, and maybe we should get our drivers Teslas and remove all mobility of them being able to drive. I know my guys, I talked about getting the Tesla truck, and I said, listen, y'all would love it, but the problem is it wouldn't get you from point A to point B. It would drive you the speed limit and do all the things that you are not good at doing. So it might aggravate you, even though the thought of it sounds good. Plus the charging of it, you're stopping a lot more, so your trip would be extended out a little bit more. So think through it before you decide, hey, this is what we want. So the first topic of this is the scratch wasn't there yesterday. So this one's going to be the guy's finished working for the day. He comes in. And it's missing the gas lid, or the tailgate's gone, or the handles broke off,
or a light's broken, or a light's hanging, or something like that.
What is this? And you're like, what?
It's funny because I feel like if you do own a company to where you're, giving out your trucks for your workers to be going here and there, there's going to be a lot of that. There's going to be scratches that show up, and you're like, what did you do? Or a light broken off. I've had a guy driving like halfway fell asleep and hit a cone in the road, and it knocked off the light to where he was coming back and it was hanging. And it's just small stupid things that you have to deal with. And
I've done it.
And see, that's another thing with business is your workers, they could easily had a hard last few days and then be driving and fall asleep, and something like that end up happening.
Oh, I have videos of it. A guy fell asleep, went off the road and hit a speed limit sign, dead center. It's all on camera, right in the middle. You just have all these. I have so many videos of it, and it's some of it is what were you thinking? Some of it I see how it happens. You talk about the orange barrel. I hit it, and those orange barrels with the tire at the bottom of it. It flew. It was just out of there. And it broke the headlight on the truck that we were in and stuff. But it's, how do you handle that? What do you do to the guy? Are you mad about it, or you just kind of you get it and you're mad but not at them? Like, what is your thought when that happens?
I'm mad, but honestly, at the same time, you also have to think that you're kind of happy that nothing worse happened to him, because someone falling asleep, that could end. There's plenty of times that it's ended in a fatality or something like that.
That's my worst fear. We had a meeting and I talked to everybody about that. I go back to staying up all night when my guys are traveling 28 states or whatever, and I know they're working midnight, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. I can't go to sleep until I know they're at a hotel. And it's not all the time, but I would say the majority of the time. And nobody in the company understands that I'm watching GPS and I'm like, okay, they're still driving. I'm getting notifications they're still driving. So, I guess it's our job to do what we can to help make sure they are well rested, even if that makes them mad. And that's what we're actually about to have a meeting about, that cutting down hours and stuff, saying, look, we're not allowing anybody to work or drive past certain hours to prevent that from happening. And as mad as they get or whatever, if you explain why. I've had the phone call that somebody's missing. They can't get a hold of so-and-so, my son, my husband, whatever, and I'm having to track them down, and I can't get a hold of them either, but I see their vehicle's moving. And so I can at least give him that satisfaction that he's probably just in an area he's not getting phone service or something. But that's a very nerve-wracking thing.
Yeah.
Them being in a ditch or waiting for a phone call from a cop or something. And I've been in that road with a best friend of mine. A cop comes to the door and has to let you know. And that's a hard thing to have to deal with. And when it's an employee and you have to deal with the family, and then of course all that settles down and now it's an illegal issue.
Yep.
It's you got to protect yourself and make sure that everybody understands what you're doing and why.
And especially whenever it comes to like the cars and things like that, there are some things that are unavoidable. Mm-hmm. Like there's something that's happened to one of our trucks that had I have not had seen it, like, because I was following our work truck from behind. Had I had not seen that, it would have been hard for me to believe.
You're lying.
Yeah,
you are lying, and you are fired.
We have a big box truck, and I was following behind it, and we were going down the highway real fast. I saw like 3 pigeons swoop down in front of the box truck. 2 of them missed it, but then that third one smacked real hard at the top of it, and it dented the front of the box truck. Yeah. And you see like feathers fly everywhere, and this bird knocked out or, dead.
Yeah.
It flies up in the air like someone just punted it. and then it falls down in front of my car because I was behind them. And once we stopped, we saw there was a big dent in there. And had I not seen it happen like that, I would have been how do you explain that?
Right.
And then we've also had it to where my guys were driving on highway, which I didn't see this one, but I saw the spot that the mark on the truck, because it actually hit the windshield and it left a big like softball size, like not dent, like shatter in the windshield. Yeah, like an imprint.
What hit it?
I think it was like a big rock or something that fell off of another truck on the highway, and they said they didn't have enough time to try to dodge it, and they're in our like big Isuzu truck, so that you can't really maneuver it.
Yeah.
Well, anyways.
Well, that was our last episode. The truck, a roofing truck, had a piece of plywood flow off, and it just disappeared, and then it came through. Right in their window.
I've seen that happen on a highway, but with a glass truck. Mm-hmm. They hold glass in the back of the trucks for like cars and stuff like that. It was going on the highway, and I guess they didn't have it tied down. It flew up, and it looked like it was a kite.
Yeah.
And then
you never saw it, or did you see it come down?
I saw it come down. I saw it fly up, and it just took off like it was Superman.
Yeah.
And whenever it hit the ground, it shattered all on the highway.
Yep. Because they turn, and then it catches air and just
it
parachutes.
The way it flew, it was just crazy seeing it.
Yeah. And actually, Andrew was on one of them, and he talked about he used to drive trucks, and one of his dual wheels broke off. They never found him. I mean, he turned around, they had the cops come and everything. People saw it. They went and walked fields, could never find him. And so, anything can happen at any point.
Yep.
And some of it's not your fault, but that's where defensive driving comes into play.
Exactly.
And that's what I tell my guys. If you want to be on your phone, go home and get on your phone.
Yeah.
But don't do it while you're driving my truck.
Exactly.
You need to be aware of all times, if not for my truck, but for your own safety.
Yep.
We watched a video. I don't know if the guy fell asleep or whatever, but he clearly was in cruise control, and everybody's braking. And he just kept going. Had plenty of time. I mean, you're watching, you're like, stop, stop, and just boom, hits. And luckily, everybody was okay with that. But that's one of those things that if something were to happen to a driver and you have it on video, could you go watch it, or would the insurance make you go watch it? And now you're having to watch something happen. And of course, we all have some kind of relationship with everybody that works with us, whether it be family, friends, friends of friends, family of friends. And so it's a hard one to get through people's heads on why I'm such a stickler on safety.
Yeah.
And going through all that.
Exactly. Because I mean, you don't want anything to happen to your employee, and then you don't want to have to pay a big charge for whatever ends up happening.
Yep. Especially if it's their fault. And now,
Yeah.
months down the road, the shock of what happened wears off, but now you're having to deal with the repercussions. You're
Yep.
like, man, you're lucky this happened to you, because I would be able to jump down.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We'd be fighting right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's so that topic is where did the scratch come from? It also be careful for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a hard one. So all right, the next one kind of goes into that. It's give me your side. So the pigeon, like you said,
Yeah.
you would have. Let me hear your side of the story again. We have cameras to validate our side of the story, what we see. So do you have a funny story?
Yes, I actually do. There was a time my guys were going to a job, which this ended up being bigger than just what ended up happening to the truck, because they were going to the job. They were backing up so they get closer to the house. I guess the tree was hanging really low, and they smacked the back of the truck on a big, tall branch of the tree. It knocked off a bunch of bark. It dented the truck, and then I think it smashed a mirror that we had to end up changing. But after that, the homeowner said that they like that tree so much that they've been growing it since however many years, and that they made us pay for treatment for where the bark came off. So they had to pay someone to come over there, treat it, and do this, and we had to pay them some money.
Yeah.
And I've never heard of anybody going
it's
that
gift that keeps on giving.
And it to me, it seemed excessive. Like they were just trying to get something else out of it. I was like, really? Like,
it happens so much.
I knock a branch off a tree at my place, and I'm just like,
well, we tell our guys, when you're putting the fuel back in the ground, stand behind the truck and watch it. If something happens, if it overflows, you can shut it off real quick. Of course, the guy walks away. Next thing he knows, diesel's running all around his legs, his feet. But he runs back up there and shuts it off. This customer said, this parking lot, this concrete's new. We need you to clean it. So we have a power washer come out there, clean it. Well, of course, now this is clean, but the other side's not. So now it just fades like it's there. So we ended up having a power washer, pay a company to come out power wash all this parking lot as far as it would. And it's like a UPS or something. I mean, it's a giant parking lot. And so we had to do all that. And I had to tell the guy, listen, I don't know if you can do this, but this is your art side. I need to step in here. I need you to fade this in and make it look like it's there. And he ended up getting in. They wrote off on it and stuff. But it's that kind of stuff that they'll just take and push it as far as they can to get what they can out of it.
Yeah, I've had that happen. I've had guys back into a mailbox and not say anything until after the fact.
Yep. And sometimes these guys just have a bad day. I mean, they just have a bad day. And I tell my guys, don't be scared to get in trouble. I might be mad and I might kind of say a few choice words or whatever, but it's going to be a lot better for you that way than it is for me to find out.
Exactly.
But I had a brand new truck. All our trucks start out brand new, but I had just bought this truck and a guy took it out. And I think only 2 or 3 people have driven this truck so far. And I went outside and there's a red streak, which is very common for my guys. And I don't understand how it happens, but the bollards that sit around the gas pumps, the big concrete, or sometimes they're painted metal or whatever, so you don't hit the dispenser, they're grinding the trucks next to them. And that to me would be traumatic, especially when it dents in the side of the truck and stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, how does that happen? How are y'all doing this? And of course, this new truck I go out and it's got red streaks down it. And
why are you getting so close to that?
And I'm so mad that nobody said anything. So I sent out a message, when you get in the truck, it AI your face and it checks you in that truck. So I get to go see the history of this truck. And I sent a message in 3 and I said, if I find out which one of you did this, I'm going to go through camera records. You're not going to have a job here no more. And I got a text message. Oh, that was me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you need to say something when it happens.
Yeah. That makes me even madder than I would have been just hearing it straight up.
Yep. And so that's that what happened was moment. And I'm like, man, you got to say something now.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and go to this last one in this segment, and it's called check engine light. This could be metaphorically or this could be actual. When you or one of your guys gets in the car and they're like, check engine lights on, what does that do? Like your mind automatically jumps to the worst case scenario. Do you think, oh, it's just a sensor? Where do you go from there?
Mine always goes to the worst case scenario just because I always have so much going on throughout the day. So I'm like, oh, it's just another test for me to try to figure out how to keep getting things done. So I'm thinking, oh, come on, not something else. I'll always panic a little bit, but then take it to the shop, see what it needs to do, and I'll always just try to make sure to fix that problem.
Yeah. And I use the check engine light metaphorically because it's the same thing you do in your business. The business owner mentality is problem solving. So the shock, right? Damn it.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking of every case scenario. How do we do this? So for instance, we had a truck motor blew in Alabama. So it's okay. Call a tow truck around you. Find a nearest Chevy dealership. You have the truck towed to the Chevy dealership. We'll call them. And so our problem solving now becomes a routine. Anytime a vehicle breaks down in the state, we develop that routine and we know exactly what to do. That it's not a shock. It sucks. Another $10,000 motor or $7,000 transmission or something. But we now have that formula on how we do it. And so that instant shock teaches us to improvise, teaches us to problem solve. And so when you're past that shock, how do you handle it with your guys? How do you handle it with the truck?
Because what I usually do is, like, if a check engine light comes on, or let's say transmission isn't working, my guy's saying the truck is messing up, then my first thought is, okay, I have a worker, Miguel. He does a lot of installs. He might use his truck for the install today.
Yeah.
And then we pay for gas. We take it to the shop. We get the truck looked at and get it fixed, and then until then we'll use his truck, because I could either pay him by day or sometimes I do it per square foot. But if we do it per square foot, then he uses his truck to go do the installs. He'll pay for the gas and maintenance and things like that.
Yeah.
And so, like, if I do have a truck issue, that's the first thing that we'll do is we'll use his and we'll take that truck to the shop and get it worked on.
I'm sure you're having the same problem. My guys don't treat their vehicle the way they treat mine. Mm-hmm. Right now we're dealing with idle hours, right? Our GPS tells us how long the truck's been idling. These guys are literally idling the truck 40 hours a week. Like, it's truck idle is like a full-time job. And I'm like, you can't do that. Like, leave your car running if you're going to do that. If you're going to do that to mine, do it to yours. So I want you to leave your car running, get in my truck, go work all week, come back to your running car. But as a business owner, you try to find a balance there.
Exactly.
And one is out of frustration, but the other one's out of logic.
Yeah.
And you try to make those that says, how does this make more sense? We give our guys a credit card. They buy food, gas, hotels. And a lot of them, or some of our guys, think the food is 4-course meals every night. And I'm like, do you eat like that during the weekend? Like, is this your normal routine? Like, this is what the card's for. So I did a lot of brainstorming, spitballing with guys, doing a lot of stuff. And we come up with a really good plan to get production versus expenditures, give those together, come up with a number. What is normal? What's not normal? And now it either adds to your bonus or takes away from your bonus, if the closer or whatever. And so that seemed to do something really cool. And the guys seem to appreciate it because they're getting more on their bonuses and stuff. Not only bring that idea up is to kind of say, okay, now what do you do? Like, when you start getting these ideas on how things work, because you see problems and your mind instantly says, okay, let's solve these problems.
Yeah. Honestly, whenever I'm trying to do that, I just, I try to gauge out where my workers are and how much they've been doing, like, for their bonuses. Like, I'm taking care of them on that.
Reward them, but don't be petty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And then they also do have a card that I give them for gas. And, like, if they're staying late somewhere, I'm like, hey, go stop over here and y'all grab yourself something to eat and just use the card.
Right.
Because y'all have been killing it all day. And we do jobs in Houston and stuff like that too. Yeah. And so whenever they're going out there, I'm like, hey, on the way back, lunch on me, or go grab y'all something from here.
Because if they weren't doing it, you'd be doing it.
Exactly.
And you can sympathize with that work ethic. And that's what I feel like I struggle with sometimes with my other guys who aren't doing the work, that they sometimes lose sympathy for the guys who are doing the work. And I'm like, you were out there once. Let's kind of cut them a break and cut them some slack. They may not be doing what we would do. I'm sure there's things they do that we would be doing wrong. And so we got to give and take.
Yep.
And so it is kind of give and take when you start looking at the aspect of technician and outside looking in and umbrellaing over everything.
Yep, exactly.
But cool, man. That was a good episode. Do you have anything else you want to add into it?
I think that's it.
Cool. We talked about entrepreneurs. We talked about electric vehicles, and then we talked about just having employees and some things about that. I don't really have much other than say I think we touched base on a lot of it. This is going to be a pretty good episode to post. Again, I'm Adam Thompson. This is Fuelish Behavior, sponsored by MCS Petroleum. Our guest, Alex. Fun episode.
Very fun. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, man. You have a good one.
Yep.